Hello, everybody, and good morning. Thank you so much for tuning into the show yet again. I'm here to tell you guys that it is about time that you follow or subscribe to the show wherever you listen. I know y'all are out there listening, and you're not subscribing, and you're not following the show, and I don't like that kind of behavior. You guys know I'm tired of working these garbage jobs, wasting my time. The links are in the description of the show wherever you listen. All the links, all the social media links, all the different platforms. Wherever you listen, all I ask is to subscribe, to follow. Please, please, I'm begging you, subscribe, follow, and most importantly, enjoy today's episode. Hello, everybody. I am here in the Simian studio, and I am wishing and hoping that this baseball situation gets figured out ASAP. That is my main concern as a human being right now, is that baseball will continue. We've already had a large slump in America's pastime during the pandemic. Nobody was playing any sports, and baseball was missed. We get a year of it. We got a year's worth of baseball, and now it has been ripped from our hearts and souls as Americans. It has been taken from us. How are the people of the Dominican Republic going to feed their families? How is Mike Trout going to put food in the mouth of his children? How? I don't even know if he has children. The people that he loves, Mike Trout. You guys know Mike Trout, the guy who gets paid 9 figures to play a children's game. How can we function as a country if baseball is not happening? Baseball. I'm wearing a hat. It's modeled after a baseball cap. Our beings in America. Every fiber of our being is baseball. Think about it, right? You're at a baseball game, the umpire makes a bullshit call. What, are you blind? Same shit happens in real life. You're driving, somebody takes a turn without their signal. What, are you blind? It's ingrained in us. It is ingrained in us to act the same way we act at baseball games in real life, especially the more engulfed your hometown is in baseball. It really is. And the fact that there is a lockout in baseball has absolutely shaken this country to the core. It is the number one current event that is as detrimental to this democracy as anything we've ever seen. Baseball is not happening right now. Can you guys believe this? Can you guys believe that while a country is mercilessly invading a sovereign nation and trying to put up a government, just a puppet government that will eventually concede to the mass weight of the initial country's control, while that is going on, baseball has been stripped away from us. Baseball. It is interesting how sports is and I mean, I agree with this. I'm over here being a cynic, but baseball really does bring, sports in general just bring people together. You wouldn't think it, but sports do bring people together. There's something about watching grown people engage in something that most of us don't have a very long time participating in. Most of us, very, very little of us humans are able to make a living out of playing a sport, playing a game. So when we get to watch somebody do it and get paid incredibly, like very, very handsomely for it, there's something that happens. We get very entertained. We get incredibly entertained watching grown people push the limits of a sport, of a game that we are introduced to as little kids and bred to be interested in. Depending where you come from, depending the person you are, obviously. But it all has to do with entertaining the people, keeping them at bay from the real shit that's going on. It's ancient. It's been going on for history, since the Colosseum. Once the Colosseum, the Olympics, right? The ancient Olympics, very different than the Olympics now. They, obviously back then, they were they believed very much in polygamy. No, not polygamy. Ha! What's the one where you believe in multiple gods? Polygamy. Yeah, they probably believed in that shit too. But I don't know, the one where they believe in all the gods, and obviously then it was more of a, for lack of a better term, religious or spiritual event. Nonetheless, it was very entertaining, and it kept people not too worried about the ever-growing Roman Empire. And then the same thing for the Roman Empire. All those people were very entertained watching the homeless and the marginalized people of that time get mauled by lions and beat each other to death. While in actuality, Rome was burning to the ground, right? Rome was actually getting too big for its own good. And the resources didn't stretch, and whatever the fuck the case was. Long story short, Rome shit the fan, or Rome's shit hit the fan, and everybody got sprayed with it. And nobody was paying attention. All their backs were turned, and they're like, whoa, what's that on my back? Oh, shit. Literally, there's shit on my back, and it's all of ours. And here comes the crumble of our empire. But everybody was entertained. They were entertained the entire time, which is what helped people turn a blind eye to it. Now that baseball is not happening, people have to focus on this other shit. There are some people that solely watch baseball. That is their only sport that they like. It's not uncommon. It is not uncommon at all. Like for me, I solely watch sports where people beat the fuck out of each other that aren't hockey or football. I rarely watch football anymore. I never watch hockey. I don't watch the other sport. I watch fighting sports. That's it. MMA, boxing, kickboxing, wrestling. I watch that shit. That shit is nice. That is what distracts me from the terrible horrors that are happening in today's world. That's my prescription of distraction, is people beating the fuck out of each other, which in theory it's helping two causes there, right? Because it's distracting me, but it's also preparing me for violence. Violence that could very well, at any moment, not even just now currently, now the chances are heightened, but at any moment, violence is present. If you're in this world, violent altercations can happen with multiple people, you and one other person, with large groups. The large group ones are fun. That's what's kind of going on now, right? But, like I was getting at earlier, some people only watch baseball. They follow the fuck out of the game. They have fantasy leagues. They watch every game. They try to. They tape they are into baseball. And now that there is no baseball, all there is baseball talk, right? Where's this guy going to go? This lockout. I don't even know what the lockout is about. I would assume it's about money, right? I would assume it has something to do with money. I may sound like a fucking idiot. So I am going to Google what this lockout in baseball is all about. Let's see. Baseball lockout causes. Let's see. MLB Lockout, 3 reasons why owners and MLBPA didn't reach a deal, including long wait for first proposal. So it has something to do with the owners. Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred made good on the league's long-standing threat to cancel regular season games on Tuesday evening, scrapping the first 2 series of the year. Manfred's announcement came after negotiations on a new collective bargaining agreement fell apart during the afternoon, causing the 2 sides to pass a league-imposed deadline without a deal. This season will mark the first time the regular season has been compromised by a work stoppage since 1995, as well as the first time in league history that an owner-imposed lockout has resulted in missed games. Wow. So this is even more, more shallow than I thought. These are league This is the commissioner who didn't reach a deal, who wasn't making the money that he was expecting to. Or, it sounds very much like it was just negotiations. So my assumption is more or less right. It's a money fucking thing. It's business. There's no external cause that's doing this. It is business, right? It's money. And that's all there is to talk about in baseball right now. How it's going to get figured out. What's going to happen afterwards. When is the season actually going to fucking start? That's all there is to talk about baseball. So those guys that can't get enough of baseball right now have to watch other shit. They got to think about other things. Baseball doesn't take as much room in their mind as it fucking once was, or in their day, so now they have to think about other stuff. So maybe, just maybe, this MLB, this baseball lockout will shed some light on some other things. You know, it'll cause these incredible fans of the sport, the ones who spend more time on baseball than anything else, thinking about baseball than anything else, it might cause them to revolt. Fuck it. We are going to win this war if we get plunged into war. If the United States gets plunged into war along with all the other countries to stop Russia from fucking everybody up. If that happens, the revolution will be started by baseball fanatics. Baseball guys are going to start lighting their bats on fire and putting fucking wrapping barbed wire around it like they're Mick Foley in the WWE. And they will start charging the front lines of the Rush. And, I mean, they're all going to get shot and mowed down, you know? I mean, look at baseball fans. They're huge, most of them, right? Most of them they got 30 comorbidities. They can't walk. Their knees are banged up. The only time they can walk is when they go to the games and they park. They don't have a whole, they don't have the means to park close. So they walk really far, stopping for booze and food on the way, multiple places. And then they get there and they have just enough strength in their knees to get up and down the stairs. You ever go to a stadium or a baseball park? There's a lot of stairs. There's a lot and ramps too. A lot of ramps. So there's a lot of incline stress on those knees. So they have just enough energy to do that, and then they have enough willpower to sit there smushed up with their knees all like smushed together because of how close stadium seats are. And that's the baseball fan, and they're gonna run out. They might even have guns. They might even be trained, but they will get mowed down as they rush the gates of Moscow in the name of their great sport of baseball. Why isn't there any more baseball? And then there you go. Then there'll be no baseball. If the U.S. and Russia fight each other, I would have to assume that baseball would be an afterthought. While everybody is lying on the ground from both countries, bleeding or irradiated, to the point that their skin has turned yellow and their eyes are starting to roll in the back of their head, somebody is going to scream out in their last breaths, "What the fuck happened to baseball? I had tickets. I am a huge Astros fan. And what the fuck? What the fuck? What happened to baseball?" That's when everyone's going to say, if the MLB commissioner wasn't as selfish a motherfucker that he was, maybe we could have avoided this nuclear war if we just had our fucking baseball. I don't know, guys. You know me. I like to throw ideas out there. I like to throw mess at the wall to see if something sticks. That's what I like to do. But, what else is fucking happening? This week is a busy goddamn week for me. Very busy week. I am in New York. As you guys are listening to this, I am in New York, and I am bopping all over the fucking city trying to get jobs, trying to get housing, because I will be there very soon. mainly what I've been focusing on is how I'm going to keep doing this show. And I feel like now is, a good a time as ever to kind of explain what I've been thinking about to you guys, because after all, you are the motherfuckers that listen to this shit. And you guys should know. You guys should know what the happening is and what's happening with this show. So it looks like right now, I thought someone was calling me. Right now, it's looking like I am going to have to settle for getting a room. Just renting out a room. Apartment is those dreams are starting to fade away. But at least if I can rent a room for a year, I can build up a year's worth of work in the city and prove that I have a job and prove that I can pay shit so that when next year comes, I can move to an actual apartment, one that has room for me to hopefully set up the podcast the way that I want it to, the way that I have it here. But what I'm thinking of is once I move, it's going to be sometime in April, most likely. It might even be sooner. But it's looking like I have enough episodes for March, put it that way. This month, I think I'm going to get enough recorded before I'm out of here so that you're covered for this month. But once I get to New York and it's like, April time, there's going to be a shift because I won't have as much room. I'll only have the one room that I have, and I only know a couple people out there. So as far as in-person guests go, we're going to try our best to network. We're going to try our best to make shit happen, but most of it is probably going to be through Zoom. Not my preferred way to do the show. I have a whole lot of equipment here, and it's not going to go to waste. It'll get used because I have another plan. But again, it's the way the show is going to happen is the guests. It's still going to be Monday and Thursdays. The guests are going to probably be Zoom. I got some friends out there. I'll see if I can get them to come through. But like I said, guests are Zoom. I'm talking in circles now. And solo episodes. Now, the solo episodes, there may be times where I need to do more solo episodes. I might need to do 2 solo episodes because I still want to do it twice a week. But guests are going to be a little tough because I'm in a new place. I don't know a lot of people. And but Zoom scheduling is a thing, and that'll be happening as well. So guests are a big part of the show. I don't want that to go away. Now, here's the other idea I'm having. I get a cheap room. Right? I can get a cheap-ass room, and then I can get a cheap-ass office space or studio space, and together it would be like the price of a one-bedroom or something, or a studio somewhere, something that I really want, but again, we got to make adjustments here. So we can do the show in the office space. That's another idea I'm having. Also, I'm seeing that a lot of these rooms are pretty fucking big. Like, I might be able to fit a small podcast setup, one bigger than the one that I'm imagining in some of these rooms. It's going to be super simple, guys. It's going to be, I might even be holding the mic. My guest, if I have someone there with me, we're going to be holding a mic. We might just be sitting on a fucking futon or sitting across from each other. Like, it's going to be different. It's going to be different than this. Might only be one camera. We'll see. It all depends the room I'm having. There's a lot of change going on. Very much change. Yeah, very much. Very much change is happening. Which is good, man. It's good. Can't run from it. And for me, it's a very long time coming. Getting my ass to New York. And it's still going to be a motherfucking process, guys. I am not by any means secure in the notion that I will be in New York when I want to be. That being said, I don't want to take any back steps. When I say that, I don't want to be, I don't want to have to move. I don't want to have to move back to my parents' house. That to me is a back step. I love them and they love me and I know I have a room there. But that's not what I want to do. I want, as soon as this lease is up, to get the fuck out of here. Bring home as much of my shit as I can, and that's that. Comedy is what's getting me to the city. I, honest to God, did not think that would be the thing to do it until I restarted. Once I restarted, it was like, this is for me, man. I'm going to make this happen. And it's not as out of reach as I was led to believe. It's possible. It is very possible. And all you need is a little encouragement. A little work goes a long way. And it all depends what you think a little work is, right? So for me, I'm a fat slob right now. I have no gym membership. I'm not, I'm eating whatever I want, whenever I want, which is even worse. I'm pretty much doing whatever the fuck I want right now, physically. But I'm not exercising very much. Now, there was one day where I said, fuck this. I can't really run. This is how bad a shape I am in, guys. I'm embarrassed to even mention this shit to you. But running right now, for me, it would be counter fucking intuitive. And I love to run. It's one of my, favorite things to do to keep my mind right and to work hard. It's hard. It's hard to run. And right now, it is the hardest it's ever been for me to run. I also don't have a gym membership. And going to the gym added structure to my day. It added a task that I could get done. It added a routine, an important routine. And now I have a different routine, one that's not as conducive to success, in my opinion, because I've always believed that body and mind should work in unison, yada, 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 whatever. That's the thing. You got to drop your beliefs, man. You gotta stop giving a fuck. No. And I've done a lot of that. But in this situation, this is something that I am actively stressed out about because my family has a history of problems with weight and health problems that come with having problems with weight. Heart problems, diabetes, this type of thing. Joint fucking, knee pain, back pain, the stuff that prevents you from moving, prevents you from getting out there to being able to be free with your body, I mean, everybody gets old at some point, but you want to be able to take advantage of your body, especially at this age. It's shit I've always said. Like, imagine not taking advantage of being strong and young and agile and just not working out, not doing anything, kind of like I am now. It sucks. But I brought all that up because last week or the week before that, I started walking. I go for an hour walk, and I try to exercise at home. I shadow box. I have a resistance band. I use that. I try to do something. And the first day I did it, I got on the scale, and I was as light as I had been in a while, which for you guys is 212. I'll let you guys know. It's 212. I've been teetering on 220 for a little while. It's terrible. But again, I didn't weigh myself before that. But the most recent weight I had seen was like 216, 217 in that area. So to see that I was at 212 off of just doing a little something. I ate well that day. I did all right. A little bit. It was incredibly encouraging. It was incredibly encouraging, and a little bit of work went a long way. That's what that means, And yeah, it might have taken 2 hours out of my day, but relatively, it wasn't the hardest amount of work, And it's all relative as I try to, once I move back to New York, or once I move to New York, once I get all this shit figured out, and I'm not thinking about 1,000 things every day, then I can start to build a routine. I can get back to the gym. I can try to eat a little better. My job choice, my career choice isn't very conducive to health, right? But it's about getting a consistent and sustained effort. And it starts with little steps, right? And you kind of need to take a step back and take a step out of yourself. Because for me, I have been for a while chasing the mindset that I had when I was younger, when I had nothing else to worry about, when moving to New York was just a dream, when my only responsibility was getting through college and being in shape, right? More or less, that's what it was. That's the time I'm thinking about. Now I have all this other shit that I'm thinking about. I have other stuff that comes into fact, come into play, whatever the fuck. The shit that you don't think actually happens but does. It's crazy. It's a rude awakening. Everyone always says the rude awakening when you're a kid. Where do you get in real life? Yeah, well, it's true. Shit's true. It's harder to stay in shape when you have absolute autonomy, absolute freedom. You can eat whatever the fuck you want, whenever the fuck you want. You can make whatever the fuck. Like, I love to cook. I'm always trying to make something new, make something delicious. But, I'm always trying to chase that old mindset of, yeah, it can be done. And it can be done. It can be done, but you do what you always done, you get what you always got. Right? You do what you always done, you get what you always got. And right now, trying to do what I was doing isn't going to work. Right? It's not going to work. And that might not be the right phrase to say in this moment, but it just, I need to switch it up. I need to switch, and I needed to kind of humble myself and say, hey, right now, as much as you want to go for a run, that's bad. Like, it's not going to help you. You're just going to fucking keel over and die, and tomorrow you're not going to want to do it. You got to work up to it. So let's start with walking. I used to walk all the fucking time. I would go for a walk by myself at any hour of the night. I used to have this routine. I would get out of Rocco's pub after fucking washing dishes all night and being a fucking lackey, more or less, because I was doing more than what I was hired for and not getting paid any extra. I would get in my piece of shit car, even more of a piece of shit than the one I have now, and I would drive to the guy who would sell us weed. I'd get like a 20 sack, and I would drive back. I'd roll it in the car. I'd drive back. I wouldn't even smoke it in the car. I would drive back home. I'd, go upstairs, say what up to everybody, and then I would go downstairs. And from there, I would leave, I would watch TV, and then I'd leave. Then I'd go for a walk, or I'd play video games, and then I'd go for a walk, and I'd smoke and listen to music and just chill, man. It was awesome. Summer night, and then I'd come home, and then I'd be high in the basement alone. Nobody bothers me. It was fucking superb. Not to mention, when you're a fucking teenager who either works part-time or not much at all, or even in middle school, when you get that little sense of freedom, your family says, yeah, whatever, go hang out with your friends. For us, all we did was walk. That's all there was to do. And then maybe in the evening time or at nighttime, we'd hang out at someone's house. But for the most part, all we did was walk around and explore. We'd walk for miles and miles, just all fucking day. You got nothing to do. You're a kid who has a little bit of freedom. His parents or your parents are letting you out. They're letting you go fucking do something. So we'd walk all over town, man, all over town, and it would we'd look forward to it, So you lose that. Once you're able to drive, it's like, why the fuck would I walk? Especially where we're from. Like, it's incredibly populated, but there's parking, like you can drive in the city. You can do whatever the fuck you want because there's area to live, So once you drive, it's like, why would I walk? Why would I do anything else but drive, And it's just kind of an afterthought. And especially me, a person who's been incredibly active for most of his life, this is the most inactive physically I've been. I mean, even after COVID, the whole year, whatever, I didn't exercise, and I was pretty inactive. Comparatively, I was still more active than I am now. Like, now I do pretty much nothing when it comes to physical fitness. And it sucks because it used to be such an important part of my life, and I want it to be an important part of my life. I want to be back in shape, but I clearly don't want it enough to make shit happen, right? I still want to eat fucking ice cream and pizza and all this bullshit. I don't stick to a diet. I don't do any of that shit right now because my mind is all over the fucking place. And these are excuses, of course, right? These are excuses. We all make them. So it's about trying to correct them. It's about trying to correct the shit that you're worried about. And for me, I don't want... The biggest thing for me was breaking the family cycle, right? And that always started, in my mind, it started with getting healthy, being in good shape. Just trying to be in good shape and trying to keep my weight under control and feeling good and all this stuff. Because that's part of it, right? That's part of it. Garbage in, garbage out. If you're putting garbage in, you're probably not, operating at your highest faculty. You're probably not doing the best that you can do. So, and plus, in my family, like I said, there's so much history of just bad disease, that can stem from being overweight, and there's only a few people in my family that put physical fitness first, and I always wanted to try and be one of them. So that's the current journey. Again, life gets in the way, so I can't act like I'm an 18-year-old kid who's got all the time in the world to go, who can still do school, who can work part-time, and then have time to go to the gym. Now I have to work full-time. I got to pay bills. I have a podcast to run. I got a comedy career to work on. And I got to exercise, right? Try to tie in having a social life and having time to yourself, which I want more than anything a lot of the time. And it's tough. It's tough to balance. It's what being an adult is. So that's what the fuck it is, man. That's what's going on in my life. That's what the future of the show looks like. And again, sometimes I'm on here to be funny. I thought I was being funny at the beginning, and then this morphed into some other shit. Sometimes I'm on here just to put what's going on in my life out on Front Street so that you motherfuckers can relate. I know there's some of you motherfuckers that are tired of the shape that you're in, and all it takes is to humble yourself and say, yeah, I used to be a bad motherfucker, and right now I'm kind of a soft motherfucker, and I'm not able to do what the fuck I want to do, but it can change. It can change, and all it takes is a few steps, a few beginning steps, a feeling of consistency right off rip, and trust in the process. Trust in the process, and that bullshit's it's gonna be flung at you the whole time. And understand that, because that is part of the process. But anyway, guys, who the fuck am I? Don't listen to me. Listen to some accomplished person. Don't listen to me, motherfuckers. I ain't got shit going on for me just yet. Someday, but not just yet. All I have is a voice, and you motherfuckers choose to listen. So that's what I got for you. Anyway, thank you all for listening on this Monday. We're going to have a great episode for you on Thursday. I'm going to be at the Comedy Connection March 13th, which is this Sunday coming, so show up. Check my Instagram for details. Follow my Instagram. Follow both of them, one for the show and one for me. Keeps you up to date on everything. And follow the show wherever you listen. Subscribe. If you watch on YouTube, comment, the whole fucking deal. And that's it, motherfuckers. We're done. Peace.